she shot high into the sky with the power of 1,000 hurricanes to block the clouds, stealing their water to bring life to the land. Even now, after 6 centuries of man's impact, the forest still persists and has been designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, one of the last remaining examples of the vast Laurisilva forest that once blanketed southern Europe. She rose from the water, and carried by the power of water, she is destined to return 1 grain of sand at a time. But nature was not the only hand at play, attempting to tame this wild land. Immersed in the brutal beauty of this distant outpost, settlers fought a daily battle for survival in a remote wilderness that offered no mercy to the isolated or unprepared. Back then, it was a close-knit community where everybody knew everybody. If you needed help, you didn't have to ask. Neighbors just came. That's how we survived here, by looking after each other. The towering central mountains blocked the clouds, so the South Island gets over 300 days of sunshine a year. But clear sunny skies meant little rain. Working together, we found a way to bring the water south and combine it with that endless spring of the South Island to grow our food. Carved into the very bones of the mountains, for over 2,000 kilometers, Madeira's levadas tell a story of human ingenuity and persistence. They became channels for more than just irrigation. Along these ancient waterways, stories were shared, marriages were arranged, and communities were forged. But the levadas were just the beginning. On the far distant horizon, another network would emerge. Isolated by her imposing mountains, each of Madeira's villages developed their own distinct dialects and traditions. Today, it takes 40 minutes to drive across the island from Santana to Funchal. But in the 1950s, a mere 70 years ago, that same trip required a treacherous 2-day walk over steep mountain trails with a night in between. spent sleeping on the mountain. What may sound to us like an arduous journey was, in that era, just the rhythm of island life. The first roads weren't much better. Especially after a storm. Over time, a bold vision emerged. Don't go over the mountains, go under. We would transform the island. By creating a network of tunnels and bridges to link these separate communities together. The tunnel system has also made an island-wide bus network, both practical and affordable. The cost savings and environmental benefits of this modern highway system are incalculable. The story of Madeira's infrastructure is one of persistent human ingenuity, finding ways not to conquer nature, but to live harmoniously within it, without sacrificing the natural beauty and cultural heritage that make the island unique. Nestled on Madeira's southwest coast, there is a charming village. That is one of the few places in the world with no cars. In 1608, 3 fishermen moved their families here. Back then, there was no need for roads. They had boats. As the decades stretched into centuries, their children married, had kids of their own, and built homes nearby, with just enough space between them for people to walk, for donkeys to carry goods, and for neighbors to converse from their doorways. What's remarkable about Jardim do Mar is how isolated it remained for centuries. Surrounded by cliffs and ocean, this tiny enclave could only be reached by boat. So it became like an island on an island, a self-sufficient community that relied on what they could fish from the sea and grow in their terraced gardens. As the village name itself, Garden by the Sea, implies. Even today, it remains a very special place, a place where everybody is family. A road now reaches the edge of the village, but cars can't fit inside. While the walkable community, mixed-use development, is a hot new trend aimed at reducing the use of cars, Jardim do Mar has quietly lived this reality for centuries with its own timeless blueprint for a sustainable community. So it remains as it has always been. In a world increasingly defined by speed and connectivity, the residents of Jardim do Mar still cherish the value of a more personal type of connectivity here, in a place where geography created isolation, isolation preserved tradition, and tradition created something timeless. At its heart, Madeira is an agrarian culture, deeply connected to the land. The islanders still adhere to traditions tied to the seasons, in harmony with nature, that date back hundreds of years. These terraced fields, carved into impossibly steep hillsides, represent one of the world's oldest examples of sustainable agriculture. Here, on an island where nearly 2/3 of the land is a protected natural reserve, conservation isn't just policy, it's a way of life. Deeply woven into the cultural fabric of Madeira. With over 2 million visitors a year, ecotourism is one of the main drivers of the economy. So preservation is key. Over hundreds of years, Madeirans have learned to live, not in conquest of nature, but in harmony with it. Their interplay with nature began decades before terms like carbon footprint became popular. It seems fitting that the island's first hydroelectric plant was powered by the same levadas that have sustained the island for centuries. The 1990s saw the installation of wind generators, followed by a solar park. Madeira is exploring many options in its quest to become carbon neutral by 2050. Studies estimate the annual wave power potential on the north coast at 30 to 40 kilowatts per meter. Traditional Madeiran architecture developed ingenious ways to maintain comfort without mechanical systems. Lessons we're now incorporating into modern designs. When you combine these passive approaches with modern renewable generation, you create buildings that tread very lightly on the earth. From the ancient laurel forests to modern solar arrays, from traditional farming terraces to state-of-the-art wave energy converters, Madeira demonstrates that human development and natural preservation need not be opposing forces. They can, with wisdom and care, become partners in creating a future that honors the past while embracing new possibilities. In Madeira, life moves at a pace all its own, measured not in minutes and seconds, but in the rhythms of nature and the beating hearts of a community that remembers what much of the world has forgotten: the art of living together. Each year, millions of visitors discover this Atlantic pearl. A place where centuries-old markets thrive alongside modern condo developments. It's not just coexistence. It's the continued evolution of an island culture that has adapted successfully for over 600 years. At one time or another, we may have all thought, what if? It is fascinating to look back and think what a difference a day makes. If Zarco hadn't been blown off course by a storm, he may have never set foot on Porto Santo Island or discovered Madeira, a chance encounter that may have changed the course of human history. Would Columbus still have sailed west without first spending time here to formulate the plan for his journey? Would Portugal have become such a significant naval power without Madeira to support its ambitions of colonial expansion? Madeira's rich maritime history is a testament to its strategic importance. A small island that played a giant role in shaping the world as we know it, fueling Portugal's ambition and connecting continents through trade, exploration, and the enduring power of the sea. Madeira, a little island that made a big difference, and through it all has remained a very special place that many have come to love and call home. A place with a bold vision to lead by example, with its respect for nature and embrace of a sustainable lifestyle. This is the timeless magic of Madeira.